I'm just letting you know here. I'm flying blind tonight. I only have one word on or one sentence on my cue card for tonight. Other than that, it's gonna be all duck and shoot. Or
You have cue cards?
never mind.
Therefore, you are 33.3% recurring, more prepared than anybody else.
That's the nice with only 3 hosts. I mean, if you do something, you're at least on the podium. At 33%, no matter what you do.
Someone to share the blame.
Yeah, and the glory.
Someone needs to be responsible for all this, and it's everyone.
Should we just appoint a director? What's it called? The one controlling the show in radio stations, not the host, but the
Producer.
producer. Yes. Should we just appoint someone? Don't need to let them know, but I mean, if someone asks, we have someone to blame.
That was a production decision that got left in.
Will they still get glory?
If it goes well, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there is an award for podcasts, isn't there? I can't remember what it's called now.
I'm sure that there are plenty of them.
Yeah, but there's like a really big one that all the massive podcasts they all want or have got. We won't get one.
But then again, the producers, I mean, the stars always get the most money, and then the producers. But I see a lot of the stars, like everybody these days, are also executive producers, just by default. I mean, if you're in a movie, you're also an executive producer, it seems like. So, but I never understand what that even means.
I think
And that's just by name, isn't it?
Doesn't executive producer means that they've got money in it as well?
Either
I'm not sure, though. I'm more into the K.J. approach, or executive. It's just in the name, because that would translate to what I experience from the corporate world. I mean, executive. It's not like they're contributing to anything.
I
mean,
think
they get paid, though. Yes, that's true.
I think the executive producers bring something to the production. Either it's stardom because they're one of the stars, or they're chunking a lot of money to get their name on there. And I think they are the ones who get paid if the money goes well. But according to Hollywood accounting, movies never do well. So
no, it's a zero-sum game every time.
If that, I mean, you owe the money, the movie money, probably at the end.
Yeah.
Same with the podcast.
If you ask any accountant, yep, it was a total flop. That's how it's done in this world. We take all the earnings from this show and then we plow it back into the separate individual YouTube careers, and then the money suddenly just poof, like it was never there. It's like accounting magic,
counting matchsticks,
moving zeros, but nothing in front of them. So how was Easter at your ends? Easter, Phil says, has it been a holiday?
I got 4 days off work. That's it.
Were they fine?
They're very, very good. Yeah. I mean, I say that I'm off all week, but yes, no, a nice 4-day break. Can't really remember of it. I know I've been very busy in the garage, or I've been throwing away stuff. Friday, yes. Friday was the beginning of the big throwaway.
Yeah, you've been doing a big cleanse.
Yes. A lot of looking at things. Going, a bit Marie Kondo. Not in so much that does it bring me joy, because obviously I've kept it for a reason, so it must bring me joy on some level. But also trying to apply some sort of rational thought to it. Of this has been in here for a decade. I've never used it. It's going.
Is this scrap wood or just scrap?
Scrap wood and scrap and things. And I went through the scraps box. and I applied a formula to the wood store. Yeah, if it's hardwood, it gets to stay. If it's decent dimensional timber, it gets to stay. And if it's good plywood, not shitty plywood, if it's good plywood of at least 50 centimeters, 500 millimeters in any direction, it stays. But then everything else goes. A lot went.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I think my limit is at 300 times 500 millimeters because that's still a decent chunk to put in the CNC to make something out of. So yeah, I'm keeping everything basically.
Yeah. If it can't be used to make a jig, then it is of no use. Get it gone.
Yeah. That's the problem though with this. It's in statistics, if you pull a number and you put it back, I'm not sure what they call that in English, but that means that for every time you pull a number, it's still an equal chance. There is no increase in likelihood of you pulling a specific number. And that's the same, but it feels like if you just do it long enough, it's my turn. And it's the same with scrap wood. I mean, you keep it there, and after 10 years, it's like, I kept it for this long. Surely it's just around the corner that the perfect project shows up and I need all of it. But yeah, statistically, that will never happen. You did a good thing, Phil.
Every time I cleaned out scrap wood, it usually goes in some kind of bin or bag or whatever, and I put it beside the garage door just to move it out. And then I find myself, I need a little piece of something to prod up this thing, and I often find myself finding stuff in that bag that's just going to the tip quite oftenly, just for this is perfect for that. So
it's like the bin on your computer. You delete it, but it's still in the bin until you purge that automatically.
Yeah,
within
I've still
days.
got the option until it's
Yes.
definitely gone. Well, no, only today I was making something for the next silly little project I'm doing. And I remembered 8 years ago, when my dad moved out of his sheltered accommodation into his nursing home, I had to dismantle a sofa. And from that sofa, I saved all the elastic webbing because I thought one day that's going to be useful. And today was the day. So it pays to keep everything, at least for 8 years.
Now, is this a point where we should do some math of how much money that thing has cost you if you include rent space in your workshop that is taken up and something else that could have been in that place and that sort of thing?
No, I don't think we need to do that, do we?
No, we don't need. No. That is
free.
But I mean, all that's in my workshop, I have put there. And I've up until now never said no to much. So the rent space in the workshop, that doesn't really work because I've found place for everything that has been presented to me as an option. So then, but if you had to say no to something, then you could start countering that, because if I didn't have that one, I could have said yes to that other thing that I had to say no to.
Exactly. It's the opportunity. Is it in the way for something else? Is it blocking your hopes and dreams or the ability to get that one thing? Then it's actually a cost. But otherwise, I am so guilty of that. Just having shit because I have room for it. I can't throw stuff away if it's not in the way.
I don't know. Well, yeah, everything is in the way, but a whole
that's one way to see it. Everything is in my way. Everything is in the way. All the
everything
people
is
are
always in
nuisances.
front of something else. That's why the clock was the previous thing, because basically, it was on the list, but it basically got done because I was fed up of moving it and balancing it on stuff. I thought, I've got to do that. I've got to either do something with this or get rid of it.
Maybe I'm predispositioned for this because I as a kid, I really liked Tetris. And that's how I feel I that's the interior design philosophy of my workshop. Is if I need something, I need to move this table to get that drawer open, and I need to move the welder, and then you prop it onto the table, but I need to open the garage door to put the long thing in so I can use the chop saw to make it short enough that I can close my garage door again. And yeah, it's a workout, both mentally and physically, every time you're going to do anything.
And sometimes it's a strain. I recognize myself so much in that. Today I kicked a small box of maybe sometimes useful plastic boxes, a box of boxes. Just kicked it over the entire workshop because it was in my way. It was so bad that I had to say to my son, "No, come back. I'm not angry at you or anything. It's just the box was in the way, and it just had to go in a hurry. No, come in."
I mean, if we're going to do maths, it would have been nice to, could we find a formula where you have the workshop that you have today, square footage, and then you need the grade of filling of stuff, basically. And then if you increased the square footage, how long would it take for it to reach equilibrium again? Because that is surely, I mean, I could get a huge workshop there where I did not have to move things around, but lo and behold, things would start to pop up at an alarming rate, I'm afraid of. And then at some point I would be back at square one, just a bigger square one.
Yes.
But it is fun that you say that. The boxes, a friend of mine, I think it was a Christmas, we were visiting her and her mother is in her 80s, and she's collecting all the plastic boxes for, I mean, cream cheese, whatever that comes in a plastic box. She rinses out that box and then puts it in the other box of the same kind, because she has 100 of those and 50 of those, and she has them in a cupboard. And then accidentally she opened that cupboard because she was going to get something. She was probably going to let us have some Christmas cookie leftovers to bring back home, and then everything in that cabinet just landslide on her. And then her daughter just looked at me and said, that's my inheritance. One day, in not so distant future, she's gonna inherit that apartment and everything in it. And oh Lord, there's a lot in it.
One day, all of this will be yours. Funny,
stacked. Yeah.
We were just chatting about that this morning, talking about throwing things away and just getting rid of stuff, because especially considering what I had to do with my folks when they passed on, there's just this thing of, you don't want to be that burden, do you?
No.
You don't want to you don't want to do this. You don't want someone else to do all this for you. For goodness sake, get rid of that box of offcuts that you're saving, because it's definitely valuable stuff. It isn't. Burn it. Hit your home with it.
If not other, just make it easy for someone to throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
You can label the box pieces of wood that's too small to be useful.
Yeah.
So it's clear to everyone.
I have that ambition though, but it's going to be difficult. And the 7-year-old yesterday, she said that when she grows up, she wants to be as good as me at building stuff. And that warmed my heart. But the problem is, I now have no ambitions of purging anything, because, she's an aspiring maker. I'll give her a head start. And then probably she's going to get into a totally different niche with a totally different tools and newer, better tools. So, of course, my old crap will be to her that my father's old Makita drill with the dead lead acid batteries where no charger is to be found in any museum anymore. And it's probably going to skip anyway.
I mean, some of your tools, yes, but some of your tools will also be those old, really nice ones that sometimes you've lost on the way and you wish you kept there, or a good memory of this. I mean, everything is not going to be good for her, but some stuff will. But it's probably going to take a long while for her to get to where you're ready to meet her. took me a lot of years at least.
I'm thinking of the equivalent for hand tool rescue.
Yeah.
But she's gonna rescue. Look what I found in the back of my father's garage, and there's this CNC milling machine that runs off. I need to get a Windows emulator on my Schwinkedonk computing device to get it to work, and then look, it only does 3 dimensions, and half the time it just cuts into the text.
And then he does 3 dimensions, and you have to use your hands to operate on a keyboard and a mouse. Weird.
And you have to put a sensor there to get the height adjustment right, because there is no camera or sensors on it. It's like caveman. Sure.
I so want to see a 4D CNC now that somehow carves in time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the 4th dimension.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Up, down, left, and right, and time runs through it.
I would get the 4th dimension being time, but it already does that because it takes time to complete. But
yeah, it only moves one way in that axis. I wouldn't see it going the other way as well.
Yeah, but the fun thing is if you go to the cinemas and they advertise 4D cinema experience, and that is just adding some scent. So during the video, they're spraying some perfume to emulate the flowers of the meadow that you're seeing. And if that's the criteria for 4D, then I'm already there every time I'm milling hardwood, because it smells kind of burnt because I'm running the bit either too fast or too slow or not enough feed rate. So it's always burning something.
Just add a water squirter and then you can get a 5th dimension as well.
Yeah.
And your new garage, which is not a workshop, obviously it is a garage, you need to build the floor on like one of those great big plates that they use to mimic tectonic movement, so you can emulate an earthquake as well.
Yeah.
The full experience.
Because that's what we want in Scandinavia. We miss that California have to give.
Why strike a straight line when you can strike a really shaky one?
Speak for yourself. We're living close to, close-ish to a fault line. I mean,
ish.
Iceland,
That's a big ish, I would say.
Yeah, Iceland is just off the coast here, and there is still expanding. So yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. You're still with the old Viking thinking of territory lines and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's close by. It's just next door.
It's just a sail away. So.
A very brief sidebar interlude, because we do that. Yeah, it's allowed. This is sort of a half-pint thing, but I'll drop it in here whilst I remember. I read an interesting article last week about Vikings, about how some people, clever people with letters after their name who study stuff, think that Viking might actually just be a job description, because they've done DNA testing on people who are in Viking raids, but they're from all over the place.
I'm sure that they picked up people from everywhere.
I would like to see that article and referencing where's the control group, because
I'll dig it out.
Either if Viking is an occupation, or if it was in that occupation, a part of it is going elsewhere and shagging their women folks. And then they get kids and whatnot. So that kind of deludes that if you're looking purely at DNA here, there might be a good portion of possible errors in your data.
And I mean, they were also partial to taking people from other places and taking them home to use as a workforce. So, and I mean,
so one would say we were ahead of time when it comes to integration. We did not openly allow them here. We also fetched them. Active headhunting, so to speak.
And let me guess, if the employee wasn't up to scratch, it was head losing.
Yes.
It might
my father had a theory, though.
Work
think
hard, play hard environment.
I think I read it somewhere that someone had a theory that maybe the Vikings weren't that good at navigation. They just set out, and if they struck land, nice, and then they just turned the direction, and they might not come home to their town, but might be the neighboring town or the other one up the coast. But they're set up the same, and of course the wife staying behind, being the head of that village, while the other husband is out raiding. Like, all right, here's a wife. It's the same kind of house that we have. So yeah, this is where I ended up back, and I mean that's just diversified. So
It's a good spreading of the gene pool.
yeah. Because that was a thing in Norway, because you had all these fjords with little to no access between them other than several days at sail. The gene pools were kind of very geographically bound in some places, where today, I mean, they are starting to dilute, but you can still see some traces in some people that they had some ancestors that kept close to home, so to speak.
Less of a pool, more of a puddle.
Yeah, a bucket. It's a family bucket. Out in the shed.
Ew. Well, let's get back to more main episode topics, I would say. Haavard, has your Easter been, and have you been doing some making? Have you been forced to be with family all the time?
No, no making. I've been spending 25% of my Easter in a car.
Yay!
But that was pleasurable, because we haven't driven to my mother's cabin in a few years because the kids was not compatible with long car journeys. But that has changed, so the kids were happy, and that made us also happy. So we drove up there, spent a couple of days at the cabin, had a blast, and then went back home again. And the only thing making wise I got out of that is that I have a few added items on my list. Because a few years ago, I built a deck on my mother's cabin, and last winter, or let's go back a few years, we changed the roof for this very slippery plate roof, which means the last winter there was a lot of snow, and that just rushed off the roof and hit that deck. And the beam in the middle, it's just pushed all the concrete piles down into the earth, so it sags like a banana. So I need to open it up and use the car jack to make it level again and put some support in. So that's a project, and we also need to move a stranded boat that is kind of stuck. But we have. It's been there for 10 years, because we really don't want to deal with it, because either you have to try to arrange a boat or two to pull it off shore and hope it floats enough for you to get it somewhere where you can deposit it, or you can spend a day breathing fiberglass during a chainsaw session and cutting it in bites and then carrying it piece by piece up a very steep slope, which none of those sounds pleasing to me. So, yeah, we just looked at it and yeah, we should do something about that. And we just went back up. Probably do the same next Easter as well. Yep, we should do something about that. So no making, but it's a good Easter. First day back to job today, and it was a pleasant first day, but we'll get back to that. But before that, how about your Easter, KJ? Was it pleasurable, or was it family oriented?
It was excuse me, it was as nice as it could be, even though it was very family oriented. The weather was shit, so we went as usual to my parents-in-law's cabin. So I finished bunk beds, brought a bunk bed upgrade because I needed to, because we needed somewhere to sleep, and that worked fine. but the mattress I had was way too firm, so I woke up with the worst back pain in years. So then I took, because previously we had smaller bunk beds for the kids, 160 centimeters long and 70 centimeters wide. So I took those two mattresses and cut them in half and just stacked almost 1.5 of them to fill up the full bed. So I double stacked the mattresses, and that worked better. At least I slept decently the other night. And then we went on a art exhibit tour. I mean, they have that every year. Local artists open up their shops and galleries and that sort of thing, and you can go home to them and see stuff. And that was nice and inspiring. All the family especially liked the junk sculptures. There was one guy who made a lot of beetles and birds, that sort of thing, out of shovels and rakes and stuff. So the kids was really into that. So maybe I'm gonna do something like that this summer. But since the weather was shit, we were spending a lot of time inside. So I actually got time to finish my K.J.s Logo T-shirt video. That's been, I mean, everything with the project was filmed in February, last things, and I think I filmed the intro and outro in the beginning of March, but then I just haven't had time to sit down and actually edit it. Because it was some, I mean, not difficult, but special editing at least. That took some time. So it's nice to have it out. But it was also a nice, I don't know, not a nice, but a humbling reality check. Going from 2 videos that both have been 1 out of 10 views through the roof, and then a solid 10 out of 10, no one watched it feeling. So, yeah, back to earth again. No floating away with the ego.
Yeah. Scrabble set, 39,000. Clock, 350. And holding steady. Oh, and I've lost subscribers too. Oh, well. It's only a game show.
Well, that's weird though. I think now the guillotine video, like, it's flattening out at around 400 views, which is good compared to the last few 10, 20, 50 videos. But I got 10 new subscribers out of it and a lot of comments. So there was some interactions, but not enough for YouTube to, maybe I should push this to more people. So it's nice, but also it could have done better. So I'm doubling down. More rockets, more crap. So we'll see.
Yeah, I feel I need to find more challenges, because that's apparently what actually works. I mean, yeah.
Could you just challenge yourself, or just define yourself as challenged? Then you should
I think I've already done that to the capacity that's possible. Yeah, that's not really the way to find a new audience, I feel. Because I mean, the bot bash.
I'll take sympathy views any day.
The bot bash was really good for getting new subscribers. At least, just been trickling in ever since. But yeah, gonna need to find more challenges. I feel that suits me also, of course. But yeah, it's nice to have the logo T-shirt done. But then yesterday we went to my parents to have some Easter there as well, and then my father surprised my youngest with a new toy gun. So it's up the toy gun game, making a double-barreled shotgun that actually you can open, and the barrels are made of steel as well, so it's heavy as shit. And it looks far too realistic for an 8-year-old to be swinging around.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't let him out with that in public. I mean, in the 80s, you would probably get away with it. Today, you will get a call.
Yes, definitely. And since he all too often talks about killing stuff, that would not go well with. We made it clear for him that this is a stay-home gun, but it gave him new ideas, so I had to up my my gun making game as well, and that felt good. I mean, it was kind of fun to figure out how to do it, and then it was a no-brainer that no, this should not be a social media thing. This should not go on YouTube. I don't think it would help anything.
Probably for the best.
Just because, I mean, he has his set mind on deadlines as well. He wants it done now or even sooner, preferably. So
Yeah. I have your address. I could help him out. I see those barrels could easily facilitate a couple of rocket motors, and then instead of a flint system, just a fuse and a lighter. So
I mean, I'm reminded of myself at the age of 15-ish. I remember we that was the pastime around New Year's when you got firecrackers. You had a pipe that you put a block of one end, and then you lit a firecracker and put it in, and then it shoot out when it exploded. And I'm not going to give him that idea yet. He'll have to figure that out for himself.
Exactly. Like I remember we watched Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and with this one scene, he has this. I think it's a 4-barrel bazooka or something. I've never seen it anywhere else. It's probably just a prop, but of course, young children easily impressible at that time. So, all right, New Year's Eve. And then you have all these small rockets, and of course, everyone could find a PVC pipe. So we taped some PVC pipes together, and voila, you had a bazooka. And then you just shoved rockets in there and just fire them willy nilly. So, but I mean, that's an experience I wouldn't be without. Learned a lot.
Commando is definitely on my top 5 list of guilty pleasure films. I love that film because it is so terrible. And the plot is awful. The acting is atrocious. The soundtrack is unlistenable too. But I love it.
I haven't thought about the soundtrack in years.
The soundtrack is just it's all steel drums. It just really doesn't fit. But I can't remember who it was, but it was composed by someone who's like really famous in the film score world, and it just stands out as this really bizarre soundtrack, which does not fit with the film at all.
I'm not sure if I want to see it again because it's a long time ago, so I'm just going to keep the memory. So what I remember is, of course, that scene. And then the rowing scene where he's in that ridiculously small boat filled to the brim with things and then you have the famous scene, which every comedy movie in the 80s paradise
the gear up
with
scene.
Like the gear up scene. Yeah. And then he was at this prime at that time. So, I mean, every big gun looked like a toy. And I remember seeing some reaction video, not for Commando, but he also did the Predator movie, the first one, and he's in the jungle and he's just carrying, I think it's like a Gatling gun in his hand and holding the belt over his left hand, and like people were like, that weighs close to 100 kilograms alone, and then the belt, and of course you need a battery pack to fire it, so you can't really fire it as is, so you have to carry around the battery pack as well, which she didn't, but it's amazing still. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie gave a lot of people a skewed view on what a soldier should look like. What Went Wrong did a good walkthrough of that movie, and I mean just the fact that they had actual military coaches on it, and I mean those guys, they carry around so much muscle they couldn't do anything. Basically, they were out of breath in no time. But I mean, that was what militaries looked like in the 80s in the movies. So just to make everyone feel small.
So now I'm going to see if I can't find a soundtrack later and just listen to that.
Yeah. It's fun watching it. I haven't got it on a physical media, but it's quite often on telly late. And watching it now, you can see all the model shots, which when it was going to be out on VHS, it didn't matter. And when it was shown at the cinema, it didn't matter because it's blink and you miss it. But if you've seen it enough times,
Yeah.
you can see these model shots, and they look really shit.
Yeah, like at some point in the movie, he flips the car, which I think it was a yellow Porsche.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he totally dents the side, and then he just manhandles it back onto its wheel and drives off, and then it's perfectly fine again. Like all the dents and the everything on that left side, it just like disappeared.
Yeah, the continuity is awful. And when he's holding that guy over the valley, yeah, you can see the wire attached to his leg that's holding him on the crane.
Did Arnold Schwarzenegger have his contract that he should lift a car in every movie? Because he does it in that, and does it in Predator, he does it in Twins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in every movie, he had a streak there that always was lifting a car, partly or yeah.
I remember Twins. That one I haven't seen in 30 years, but I remember that was a guilty pleasure as well, because my aunt, which was babysitting me at the time, she had that on VHS, so I watched that several times. I think I remember the plot, but I'm not going to rewatch it. I don't have the time. I'm just going to keep that as a happy memory, as Bob Ross would let's call it. Man,
Early 90s weird Schwarzenegger, because he did Junior as well, didn't he?
Yeah, that was in the same time.
Yeah.
Was it the same crew?
I think
more
pretty
or less?
much, yeah.
No.
It would be nice to go on IMDb he must have churned them out 3 or 4 movies a year at some point. I remember it was Total Recall, Running Man, which is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
The quote in that one
well.
alone has carried the movie industry into the next millennia. But yeah, fantastic lineup. But I remember they could not talk about it at that time. But of course, there was a rivalry between Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, like the biggest knife, the biggest guns, the biggest muscles. And then, of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was presented a movie which, it was a crap movie. But he spread the rumor through his agent that he was interested, just to lure Sylvester Stallone into taking it. And it was like something My Mother. So it's Sylvester Stallone is a cop, and his old mother is helping him fighting crime and something. It was a terrible movie. And he only did that because he thought Arnold wanted it, but then he realized later after the movie flopped that Arnold yeah, that was a crappy movie. And then, but yeah, now they're laughing at it, at least on the outside.
For the listener, you're thinking of Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah,
it's called that in English as well. I mean, that's the literal translation in Swedish, and I mean, we had crap translated titles that time, so I never thought it would actually be called that in for real.
Yep.
Did we find that one movie that they didn't do that to, or did we find the pivot point? That's where they we stopped doing this, the crappy translations.
They didn't stop at that point. It was far after that.
If I thought we would go here, I would have prepared that, because I think it's a couple of cahoots away. I had a category called Norwegian translation of English movies, and I just gave them the Norwegian translation and then guess which movie it is. And I started off easily, but you could very easily make it very, very hard, because there is no requirements for any link to the original title or the theme of the movie, script, or anything. So yeah, you could just as easily just use a random word generator at some point. But speaking of random, not word generator, but I had my first day at the office today after Easter, and I set the bar really low, but I had a fantastic day. Not because of the job, obviously, but I stumbled onto something, a dot matrix generator to PDF. So it's a web page. You can go in and you can say, all right, I want this size of paper, I want this grid of dots. I want them this big. I want this many dots on the centimeter. So, and then of course you can choose to print it 1-to-1. And of course I like my clipboards and the notebooks, and I'm constantly tweaking the design on my templates. And lately I've fallen into the dot matrix paper. Really liked it. So just generated a pattern, put it on the printer, and then I measured, and it is spot on. So it's like 1 centimeter is 1 centimeter in real life. So now I'm just putting the title field down in the corner and making it really pretty. So now I'm getting a new upgraded design on my idea sketchbook papers. And say what you want, that made my day. It's brilliant.
I'm writing that in the notes. Dot matrix website.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna like Howard has a nice day, like 2026. And then 5 years later, it's another entrance.
I thought you were going to say that you found an old dot matrix printer in a cupboard somewhere and just spent the entire day trying to make it work.
Hoping you'd say that.
Oh, that would be so, yeah. That would be. I would set that up in my office for the noise alone. So if someone asks, "Oh, I'll fix it," and then for half an hour. All right, here it is. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, you wanted in colors, you say? Well, let me load my plotter up with these ink pens. Come back in an hour.
I saw David Picciuto had put ink pens into his CNC and was basically turned his CNC into the world's most expensive spirograph. And he was just
Yeah.
And it's like, that's great, but you can do this with like a child's toy, but whatever.
That's a grown-up man's toy.
I've been looking at X-Tool lasers, and now they have a combo machine that it's a laser and a vinyl printer / cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen someone they just made a spring-loaded attachment for an X-Acto knife and just chug that into their CNC. So if you turn the spindle off, you just have it to trace. And that works perfectly. So I thought if I just have a flat enough surface, then I can cut vinyl with my CNC, because that would be nice for some templates.
Those knives with the rotating head,
Mm-hmm.
what is that called? That vinyl cutters use.
Yeah.
So you can, because you wouldn't want to have to program the head to
I want to say,
is the
is
swivel
that a weeding knife?
Well, the swivel is in the attachment, so it doesn't matter what the.
Okay. So yeah, it's a swiveling. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a swivel,
That's
and
good.
then there's an angle on the blade, so it's always trailing. So if you turn direction, it's just spin. It's like a shopping cart wheel,
Ah, yeah.
just
that should
not
work.
wobbly.
Yeah, that's the risk. Yeah. Don't get a T-move on.
No, but that is one thing that it's in the pro pile for getting a laser. I saw someone. I really like these metal or aluminum name tags on old machinery. And there's a lot of ways of doing that, stamping, etching, and whatnot. And this guy, he went to the hardware store and the cheapest metal one that he could find. And then he just spray painted it with some like clear lacquer. And then he just put it on the laser and engraved whatever he needed engraving, because that burned away the clear coat. And then he just used one of these blackening agents that I've used on metal as well. So you just do that, and if you want to, you can use like paint remover to paint a clear lacquer, or you can just put another layer of clear lacquer on it. But it was really beautiful results. Looked really vintage, and it was really easy. So that's when I get a laser, I'm probably going to make metal tags for everything.
That sounds good. I've seen it done with. Is it? It's not electrolysis. Maybe is it? Is it electrolysis?
Yeah,
Can be.
I've seen that
It's
too.
where you
Yeah.
make a template and then you paint on something and then apply electrical current and it etches or blackens
Yeah.
or something sciencey.
The thing with the laser is you can get a lot more details in.
Really clean.
Because the etching hand painted or stenciled out. I mean, with a good stencil knife,
But that's tough.
I've forgotten I wanted one, but the finger knife that you used in your video making the stencils for the T-shirts. At some point I remember I should get one of those, but I just forgot Googling what they're called. But that looks like really good for trailing, because sometimes I manually cut letters as well. But at least I do a hodgepodge job of it.
Yeah, that's the Fiskars one. I can Google up what it's called and put a link in the description of the episode. But yeah, I just bought that for a laugh because I saw it on a web page. So this looks stupid, like a Freddy Krueger finger. But then I tried it and it worked really well. And now I've been using it for 5 years or something like that. And I have a real hard time just picking up a normal X-Acto knife because that feels wrong holding a pen. I just want my finger to be pointing.
So what I'm taking away from this, then I should buy 4.
Absolutely.
That is the one way to go. Yes. Another thing I've been able to. I also I'm on leave for the rest of the week, so I've had a lot of time. And today I've been kicking everything into overdrive. It feels like I cleaned out my sewing machine because it was starting to make some noise. So it was a lot of dust in it. And I put some oils in some strategic places, so now it sounds better at least. But I really don't have the feel for sitting inside and doing sewing project that I want to be, because the weather is nice enough to be outside. So I want to be outside and sewing planks and welding and doing stuff. So I've done some sanding at least, as I used the CMO group to get some ideas of making lamp glass or lamp plastic shelf more opaque. And you came with some great suggestions there, because I have never done that before. Just what kind of grit you should use to make clear plastic not clear.
Well, you could just attach them to the front of your car and just drive it around, and then eventually it'll just fog up like your headlamps will.
Yeah, I want something a bit more
A bit quicker.
permanent. Yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had some 800 grit sandpaper, so I glued that to a sponge because it's a concave or convex, both of them, because I was sanding both sides surface. And that's wet sanding. It was also a great idea. So that worked really well. But I think I'm gonna go up to 1,000 and 1,200 as well, just to get it more even.
I did not know that you could go to 3,000, because the reason I know is that I built a couple of guitars in my time, and I had a friend of mine to paint them, and he said, once you get to the clear coat, just put as much as you can, and if it drips, it doesn't matter, because you can sand it down, and then you work yourself up to, I think I had 1,200 at most. And after that, you could just use polishing paste, and then you polish it up to a mirror shine. So I've never gone above 1,200 before I went for the polishing compound, and that has worked great. But I mean, great enough for a guitar where you also want to see the color or what behind. But so,
yeah.
I'm not sure how it would work on glass.
I've got a set of polishing pads, which I bought for
those micro mesh ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they go up from, I think they start at 800 and go all the way up to 6,400 or something ridiculous. And in the big clear out, I haven't found them, so I wonder where they are.
Oh,
It's
Interesting.
fascinating. Right,
because
that's on my notes as well.
you didn't
Where are
throw
they?
them. You didn't throw them away, and
Haven't thrown them away.
you would have remembered using them, and then not
Yeah.
finding them. That is, and I don't lend anything to people either, so it's not that.
God, no.
The treasure hunt begins.
Yeah.
That is on tomorrow's list of things to do. Exciting life.
Let's just get over to the half pint so we can so Phil can go and look for some pads.
If only it was that easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening to episode 134 of the Make Crude Mistakes podcast, where we covered some making, but also Arnold Schwarzenegger's back catalogue.
As we do
quite
every week.
serious detail.
It's weird though. Sometimes I struggle with the memory and remembering things and faces, but that's obviously not the case. I mean, oh yeah, remember the color of the car that Arnold drove in that obscure movie from 1984. So yeah, there's something.
Why, brain? Why do you choose to remember this?
Yeah. Why?
Exactly. I can't remember the things I was supposed to be doing today, but the colour of the car from this film from 40 years ago. Yeah, it's right there. Canary yellow.
Oh yeah. Then we double back, yellow, Easter. Let's wrap this up. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
That was a little rough.